Hi! What I'm doing today is I'm putting together new batches of cloths ready for working tomorrow. It's funny when I do this because these are some of the old cloths and technically there's nothing wrong with them. They still kind of work. They still do what they're supposed to do. I mean, they're faded with use. They have got thinner and so they don't feel as good in your hand and they don't feel as good doing the job. So whenever I start to put together new batches of cloths, it's a really noticeable difference between the new ones and the old ones. They feel different in your hand, they work better, they absorb water better, they soak water up better. And in general, it just makes my life so much easier. The funny thing is, until I actually start using them, I'm not aware that the old ones are too old to be useful. And it makes me think about stress for some reason, and anxiety and mental health problems. And the reason it makes me think of those things is I've been in positions and work positions in life where I haven't noticed that I was actually stressed and anxious. And the only time I really noticed was when I removed myself or when I was taken out of those positions, and everything just changed. And that's what it's like with these cloths. So you get used to doing something in a way, the same way all the time. And then when something changes, then you notice that the old way was kind of not working. Before you know it, you can actually have a health problem. One of my best friends, Andy, he was really working far too hard. He was working 5 days a week, then having his kids on a weekend. And there was no time for Andy, there was no Andy time. And ultimately he ended up with quite a serious internal health problem. And that took him out of commission. He was actually off work for about 6 to 8 weeks and he's self-employed. That's not a good position to be in. But it made him look at what was going on in his life and what had brought on this internal problem that he had. And he realised he was so wound up that the forced time from work made him realise he was so wound up that it was having an effect on his internal systems. And he started to be a little bit better to himself, taking some time out of work and not going gung-ho at everything. Somebody else that I know, one of my customers, she's very active and she's forever telling me how busy she is. When she's not at work, she's going away with the girls, she's going to a concert, she's going to a gig, she's going to a sports match. She just never stops. And then she's got all these pressures that she's put on herself about decorating her house and getting her house how she wants it. And nothing seems to be coming together how she wanted it, and that was just adding to her anxiety. Then one day she said to me she wasn't feeling very well and that she'd been off work with a chest complaint, tightness of the chest. And I'm familiar with this. I've had similar kind of anxiety problems myself in the past. As I was listening to her talk, she seemed okay. And then I kind of picked up on something in the conversation that I thought was going to be a trigger point for this chest problem. And so I steered the conversation and started talking about that. And as soon as I started talking about that, this chest problem occurred. She started getting a shortness of breath, started coughing. And I talked to her about it afterwards. I said, do you realise what happened there? And she hadn't picked up on it. But the point was, she'd been so busy, she hadn't realised that all this busyness wasn't giving her time to relax and to just be herself. She was just filling her life with stuff, fear of missing out, FOMO. It's one of the worst things to come out of the internet age. It's ridiculous. You lose out if you don't take time out. And that's what we kind of should be making into an acronym. Lose out if you don't take... It's going to be a dreadful acronym. I think we'll skip that idea. But the whole point is sometimes you don't realise what position you're in until you change position. And then once you change position, you realise your previous position wasn't working. The brain has this brilliant ability to adapt and to cope and to just get on with things the way they are. But if you keep doing it and it's putting a strain on your body, then it will have an impact. And that's just what I wanted to say today, really. So if you're one of those people that's always on the go, if you're one of those people that is afraid of missing out on things, just be aware that it pays to spend a day in bed one day. It pays to have a duvet day every once in a while and take a bit of time out for you so that your head can sort itself out and just relax. That's all for now. Catch you later. Thanks for watching.